Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the Scottish Government whether it can confirm if Hull 801 will be delivered by May 2023 and Hull 802 by December 2023 and within the latest cost to complete budget of £123 million.
Minister Ivan McKee.
The target date for the completion of Hull 801 Glenn Sannox remains by the end of May 2023, and for Hull 802 by the end of December 2023. The current budget to complete both vessels remains £123 million, as set out by the Cabinet Secretary for Finance and the Economy. Update to Parliament on 23rd of March 2022. The Deputy First Minister and Minister for Transport were able to see firsthand the progress made on both vessels during their visit to the shipyard on 2nd August this year. We continue to press the shipyard to continue to progress to completion of the vessels in this agreed time frame and within budget.
Edward Mountain.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. So the answer is they'll be delivered on the latest timescale and on the latest budget. We know there's only £30 million left in the budget plot and at least another 15 months of build time. So frankly, an overspend is probably inevitable. Given the latest disastrous information on harbour upgrades, in what year will both ferries be operational on their planned routes?
Minister.
As I had indicated, the completion dates for those ferries are the end of May 2023 and the end of December 2023, and both ferries will begin into operation, obviously, after those dates, the work is continuing to make sure that the turnaround in the yard is delivering to those results, and also the yard is increasingly becoming more competitive to allow it to bid for other business going forward.
Edward Mountain.
So there we have it, Minister. What we've got is a Scottish Government that doesn't even know when the infrastructure will be in place to allow the ferries to operate on the route. We've had a Scottish Government that's mucked up on the contract, the nationalisation in the yard, and will overspend their budget and will delay to build the harbour infrastructure that we so desperately need. What more could possibly have gone wrong?
Minister.
I think the member's incorrect. The harbour infrastructure has been put in place to ensure that the ferries can operate. And as I've said already, the completion dates for those ferries are, as I've already indicated, and the work continues to make the yard more competitive so that it can bid for and win more work on the open market. And that's what this government's focused on: saving the jobs, saving the shipyard, making sure that commercial shipbuilding on the Clyde has a future. And if we'd listened to others, we would not be in this position today, and we wouldn't have saved those more than 300 jobs over that period of time. That's what's important. That's what this government cares about, the industrial future of that sector on the Clyde.
Stuart McMillan.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The Scottish Government has demonstrated its crystal clear commitment to the communities which are served by the ferry services, but also the strong commitment to ensuring that the proud tradition of shipbuilding continues in Port Glasgow and the Clyde, and that jobs are protected from those who would have actually closed the yard. What can the Government, and indeed Ferguson Marine, do to give the yard a secure future and guarantee the jobs and skills for generations to come?
Minister.
Stuart McMillan is of course right to highlight the need for us all to work to give the yard and future generations of employees a secure future. There will be potential work available from this government. We have previously said that we'll have a small vessels programme, and there will be longer term proposals to invest in new ferry vessels. We would want Ferguson Marine to be in a position to secure some of that work, but whether it's from this government, other public sources or the private sector, the yard needs to be competitive. We've made clear our expectation in this regard. We continue to monitor progress closely. There are a lot of changes being put in place since the new Chief Executive was appointed earlier this year, and we can now see and say that significant progress has been made. The yard is back to being a serious contender for future vessel contracts, and I would hope that that is something that everyone in this chamber could welcome and get behind.
Katie Clark.
Thank you. The substitute vessel being used on the Ardrossan to Arran route is now 38 years old. CMAL say that they have looked at over 600 vessels in recent years, but only managed to procure one. Could the Minister confirm when Project Neptune will be published, but also will the Scottish Government commit to bringing forward a more sustainable plan to build capacity and construct vessels here in Scotland?
Minister.
I can make the member aware that my colleague, the Minister for Transport, will be in the chamber on Thursday to give an update on those very issues, and look forward to hearing from her the progress that's been made and the plans that are in place to address the issues that the member raised.
Graham Simpson.
Thank you. The Minister's already been asked about harbour upgrades, but didn't seem to give a very clear answer. The Ardrossan Harbour Task Force was formed over 6 years ago. We still have no agreement on who is going to pay for what and when the work will be done. So can the Minister say today when Ardrossan Harbour will be ready to take the Glenn Sannox?
Minister.
The member will be aware that, of course, Peel Ports are the owner of that facility, but the government is committed to making sure that this issue is resolved. My colleague, the Minister for Transport, is working on this. And as already said, we're working to ensure that that's in place for when the ferries will be operational.
That concludes topical questions. The next item of business